emotional connection with this probe right now, and I'm not loving it. Okay, we're back. We will go to space today. Kerbal Space Program, not Kerbal Environment Program. Did I make that joke already? Okay, I think I did. Here we are. Okay, OSD. This is the ship that took us to the upper atmosphere safely. I think we're gonna keep the payload the same, but get rid of the rest. Oh yeah, we've got the big liquid fuel tanks. That's gonna give us the ability to actually control our ship rather than just hope for the best. So we're gonna throw on probably swivel engine, which has a little bit of a gimbal, which means that, like I said, we do have the ability to point our direction of thrust slightly, and actually take some direct control over which way we go. And the bottom, big old booster. That shrimp that I had before would look silly. We're gonna need a separator, TD12 decoupler. You can see here, purchase entry cost 1600. In the career mode, every part that we unlock, we need to actually pay an unlock research cost before we can start buying it, because then we have to pay again to actually use it on a given ship. There's the basic fins. We're going to unlock another part here because we're going to upgrade from the fins to the winglets, which, much like the swivel, actually we can control the direction of the winglets with our standard rocket controls when we're in space, or when we're in the atmosphere, where they'll actually have an effect. And yeah, it's going to give us more control of the ship, rather than, in addition to giving us their aerodynamic stability. This looks pretty good. You can see the Delta V map, almost 3,500. 3,500 is the minimum that we're going to need to get into orbit. Now, orbit's a lot harder than just piercing the top of the atmosphere, entering space at 70,000 meters. So this should be more than enough. OSD-2, yeah. I mean, arguably, this is a completely different launch vehicle. The only thing we've kept the same is the payload. Oh wait, actually we're gonna drop this piece of science, the new barometer we unlocked. So we are gonna change the payload even a little bit too. But I guess it can still be OSD. OSD-J. And launched. I think it's very unlikely that this actually goes well on the first launch. I feel like what happened to us last time, where our first launch turned into an uncontrolled missile, is probably going to be the standard. No? Oh my god. We'll get that barometer science from the lower atmosphere. And it's flying beautifully straight. Oh, this is lovely. At the top left, you can see our apoapsis height going up. So at the very top is our current altitude. And on the top left is the altitude that's the height of our current trajectory. Oh, okay. So when we separated into our liquid fuel stage, we lost control. We're still too low in the atmosphere. Air's too thick. Yeah, air's too thick for this engine to give us proper attitude control. So we're going to use a very fancy system known as just burning when you're pointing up. Oh, good. Good. We've regained control. That's beautiful. And we're tumbling again. But our apoapsis, 73,000 meters, that's going to do it. Plus, we've got a little bit more kick left in our sepratons. We might actually need it because you can see our apoapsis is going down. So we're still in the atmosphere. We're still experiencing some drag. So that's showing how high we'd go with no drag, and it's reducing by the second. So let's just kick it in for that last little burst. Oh my goodness, it's lovely from up here. Look at those clouds. And wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, you can see our little bit of discarded stage, how quickly it accelerated out of view. There we go. Apoapsis 110,000 meters. This is us flying straight into space. Look at those stars. Look at all this science. Oh yeah, we just crossed the threshold. 70,000 meters, mission complete. We are now officially a space program. Next on the list is going to be going into orbit. I don't want to undersell how much more difficult that's going to be than this purely ballistic straight up trajectory we're dealing with here. We're not going to have the sort of margin of error where we can have our second stage flop around like a dead fish like it did. We're going to have things really come together, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. We're going to speed things up as we fall back down into the atmosphere. I think that from this height, we shouldn't really have a problem with heat. We'll have some heat effects, but we're not going to be dealing with like re-entry burn-up until we start building up the sort of speed you see from going out to the distance of the moon or actually going into orbit. Parachute fired. Acting like a drogue chute. We've still got our stability assist on, so why we're not flipping over. Sun is beautiful. Look at a nice time for a splashdown. Sun's just going to be setting as we hit the water. We're going to recover, get all of our science. Well, what we didn't transmit, I think we transmitted everything except for the mystery goo, because you lose some of that when you transmit. Look at that sunset. Guys, I'm feeling really good about this one. This is the start of a beautiful and successful space program. So we had 3,300 meters per second of delta V on that launch, which means that we don't really need to add much more in order to potentially get to orbit. But we're going to need to have more of it be controllable. Oh yeah, glamour shot. The solid fuel Sepratron upper stage is not going to cut it for the sort of fine sort of finesse that you need to reach and maintain an orbit. And splash. Perfect. Wait. What? Recover vessel. I didn't even know that you could sink in Kerbal Space Program. Negative 100 meters? Why has this never happened to me before? Oh. I guess because I usually have crew capsules when I'm splashing down. Which would make sense that they're buoyant, they're full of air. And this is just a computer, some spent solid rockets, some science. So it's just sinking and sinking. Man, this is kind of terrifying, actually. Imagine if this was the moment that our Permadeath Hex probe decided to attain consciousness. Hey guys, how's the space program going? Sure is dark. This must be space, eh? Where are all the stars? Guys? Guys? Yeah, no probe connection, no communications. We're just gonna, oh my god. We're just gonna watch this poor probe sink to its doom. I wonder if we'll be able to recover it when it hits the bottom. If it like comes to a rest on the ocean floor. And then we recover? I guess that's what happens. Oh, no, nope. Approaching pressure limits. Oh my god, he's quaking in his boots. He looks so scared. I'm feeling a real emotional connection with this probe right now, and I'm not loving it. Or maybe I identify with the probes more than with the Kerbals. 367 meters, more than a third of a kilometer under the surface of the water. And our rate of descent isn't slowing. Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it just slow as the pressure gets... Oh my god. Oh! Oh! I feel bad. Bad probe father. Crushed due to overpressure. I am crushed due to overpressure. Okay, well, we're back at the Space Center. That sunset looks a little more foreboding than it did before. But the good news is, we did not need to recover our probe to complete our mission. Launch into space, success.